start that your second week. You're gonna start cutting metal, working getting shredder cuts and cleaner cuts. After that, you're gonna start doing stick welding for a couple weeks, usually like 3 or 4, I believe. And then after that, you're gonna do a little bit of MIG. When you come back your junior year, you're gonna do a stick class. So you're gonna do just regular stick. You're gonna do vertical stick, which is going up, and you're gonna do downhill, which is going down. After you do that, then you'll get and work on certifications. There's 2 certifications for stick, which means your senior year, if you want to go co-op, which instead of come to school, you just go to work all day, make money. The school sets you up with a job as long as you have all your classes done. You have 2 certifications, well, up to 2 certifications for stick, saying that you're more work ready and that you know you have to do your job, so you get paid more. Or once you get out of high school, you have those 2 certifications. In your senior year, there's a MIG class. For the MIG class, there's also 2 certifications. And then your TIG class, you don't have any certification options because I don't know if you should have the test. But you can get 4 certifications from the class, 2 from stick and 2 from MIG. Senior year, you do MIG and TIG, and then you can also do co-op. So if you wanted to, you can do basic your sophomore year, MIG your junior year, and then senior year, first trimester, you would take your MIG class, and then your second and third trimester, all your classes are done, you can do co-op. Or a lot of people, their senior year, we co-op our third trimester. Although more than half the kids in this class are going to co-op their third trimester. We have like 5 or 6 kids co-oping right now. They're making about 20 to 22 an hour. So it's starting off good pay. If you go into the industry without any certifications or like without the class, you usually start about 17 to 18. Usually with certification you get paid a little more. So it's usually about 19, 20 an hour. Everyone I know that's doing co-op and that's had a co-op in the past has made 20 plus. We work with the union up in Louisville. They contract out to like Blue Oval, that big battery plant they're building in Glendale. Right now we got 1 or 2 people working there. And then we also, there's 2 that are at fabrication shops, making about 20 an hour. So like, if you came in here with a trailer build, you'd go into that company and build the trailer. They're going to be helping with that all day instead of going to school.
We'll talk about the differences between airline travel, whether it's passenger or cargo, what different aircraft are used for and how they're classified, how drones are classified, how weather affects your flying, a whole bunch of stuff like that. A few of the drones we use in this course, this is the DJI Mavic 2. It's a outside drone, it's 4K camera, flies about 400 feet, so it's pretty versatile. We have an area out back we're approved to fly in, so that's pretty nice. This is another one of our outside drones. It's a DJI Avata. It's an FPV drone, first person view drone. You wear these goggles and it connects to the camera of the drone, which connects to the camera. You use this controller to fly it, so fast and slow, forward, back, left, right. It's basically a big video game, and you're just in the world of the drone. And then this is our inside drone. It's called a Tello. We have about 6 of these. I'll fly here for you guys in just a second. Let me turn it on. It'll do some cool tricks. You'll see what I'm talking about. So you can do flips with this. So you can go sideways here. You can go backwards. You can let me move it around a little bit. You can go all directions with it. There's a few things that'll land on its own. Some of the tricks you need a little bit more space to do, like it'll circle around a certain point so you don't have to do it. You can take videos with it. These ones will do the same thing. They have a bunch of different video modes, so you can use these for filmmaking if you really want to. A lot of the YouTube videos you see with drone shots are probably filmed with the Mavic. But yeah, so those are our drones. If we look over here, we have a map. It's called a VFR sectional. VFR stands for Visual Flight Rules, which means you got to see where you're going. On this map, it depicts a bunch of different landmarks. So it can depict cities, airports, cell phone towers, railroad tracks, power lines, airports, so on and so forth. This is our main resource when we're up in the sky, especially when we're flying drones too. You need to know what's in the area, whether it's like I said, power lines, or if you're near an airport, you need to know where the planes are going to be at. But especially when you're flying planes, this is what we use. This is how we navigate. So when you're flying VFR under Visual Flight Rules, you need to be able to depict different landmarks while you're up in the sky. So you may say, okay, I'm going to fly past this water tower and then turn north until I get to this point. You need to be able to navigate that way. So in this class, we'll practice map reading and stuff like that. But now behind this blue, looks like a big tube. It's called our wind tunnel. It's our wind tunnel. So we use this for a few projects. One of the projects we use is we build these things called airfoils. You guys will pass these around. So an airfoil is a section of a wing. So if I were to take this Cessna and take a section of the wing out, that's what that would look like, just about. And so what that does is it creates lift, so wings are not flat. You'll understand why in this course when you learn about the fundamentals of flight. And so what we'll do is we'll put them on a stand with some weight, and we see how much lighter they get because of the lift when they're in the wind tunnel. This is the pilot's test supplement. We use this on the Part 107 test as well as a bunch of other tests, your private pilot test, all that. And so basically there's a bunch of different diagrams in here, all different parts of flight. There's charts, maps, all that stuff, and you use that on your test. They'll give that to you, and that's what you use to find resources for a question. So it may ask you to go look at figure 86 and ask you what's at point B, and you tell them what that is.
Intro to Engineering gives you a big overview of what engineering is like. It gives you some basic math principles, the engineering design process, how engineers approach a problem. And then after you take those intro classes, you'll go to your junior year where you take an electrical engineering class. So you work with circuits, you learn how a computer works, you learn all the different components of a circuit. And this here is a breadboard, if you don't mind to pass that around. So breadboard is basically a large-scale circuit board that would be found in a computer or your phone. And we get to work with those and design circuits that do similar things to what happens inside your phone. You can make lights flash and fans blow and speakers make sound based on different conditions that you set. And then after your junior year, you have several choices. You have civil and mechanical engineering. So civil engineering is working with construction, building roads, bridges, things like that. Mechanical engineering is working with moving parts. You have gears and engines. So you have the choice of being certified in electrical, mechanical, or civil engineering. You can be certified in all or none of those if you choose. To be certified, you'll take either this capstone class, or you can do co-op. And co-op is the last half of the day. You'll go work at somewhere like Metalstar, Alltech, working with engineers. You'll make roughly $15 an hour, so it's a paid internship. You get to approach real-world problems and solve them just like an engineer would. So you get first-hand experience in the workforce before you're even out of high school.
Academy is early college. It starts in your junior year and runs through your senior year. While you are in the academy, you will be considered a full-time college student. And the academy is an opportunity to graduate with an associate's degree, which is a 2-year college degree, but you can earn that in high school, so that's awesome.
Okay, so with Academy, what's going to be different versus Academy in your home high school? So you're going to get more personal responsibility and you're going to have to find a better use of time management. So you got to think, guys, this is college level classes. You're not going to have your teachers handing you, your assignment saying, this is how you do it, it needs to be done this way, get it done this day. No. After you all get out of your lectures, most of the time, you might have an assignment. It's kind of like a 50-50 chance. And you have to be responsible for that on your own. They're not going to tell you to get it done. You're not going to be at your home high school as much, but you can still always take classes and extracurriculars there. These are sports, clubs, anything you want to do, because that's okay. You're still part of your home high school, so still use it.
Important to note is the cost. It is significantly less than regular college classes, and if you do attend the academy, you do have free textbooks to use. And some qualifications to get into the academy are your ACT scores. You must have an 18 in English, 22 in math, and 20 in reading. You also must have completed Algebra 2 by the end of your 10th grade year. This is why a lot of kids end up doubling up with math their 10th grade year with Algebra 2 and Geometry. And then the application is also required to get into the academy. important skills to have is good time management. You're gonna have a lot of free time, but you're also gonna have a lot of work. You have to make sure that you're getting your work done and you're setting your mind to getting that done. You're not gonna have teachers telling you what to do, when to do it, all that. You must be on time to class, lectures. You don't want to miss any, and you don't want to miss any notes. They're all important. And you don't want to procrastinate and like let all that work pile up. That creates more stress than need be. You just want to get it done as it comes in, so you don't have to worry about it.
But this is our health science pathway. Your freshman year, you would start out by taking principles of health science, and that's just your ethics and your law classes, making sure you got all the basics. It goes all the way back to like the beginning of when medicine first started. You would take emergency procedures and you would learn first aid, you would learn how to wrap a wound, how to take care of someone if they're not feeling okay. You would learn how to do CPR. You can also take med terminology, and that's kind of like learning a new language. You're learning the suffix and prefixes of words that you didn't know. So if you're at your doctor's office and you're like, oh, what does that mean? Well, you would learn it in this fast, and then the next time you'll go, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about. Super cool. You can also take anatomy. If you take it at your home high school, you don't get college credit for it, so it's okay, you can take it when you're in college, but if you take it here, you get college credit for it, and it's called Bio 135, and that's your body structures and functions. And you need to work hard to get the grades that you need to pass, because if you just stay with bad grades, you're not going to be able to like go on further. Your junior year, you can take M&A, and that's nursing aid, so that's right below a nurse, so you're helping them like take vital signs, bedside care, bathing, and transferring patients. At the end of the program, you would take an exam, and if you pass that exam, you get a certification. You can take CMAA, which is Medical Office Procedures. It's an internship component for senior year, so if you want to do co-op, you could work at the hospital, you can work at an urgent care. It just kind of helps like get your foot in the door, get a job. It's simple. You learn basic office tasks, knowledge of insurance, and making appointments. It's little to no bedside care. You have a clinical medical office setting, and there's also an exam and a certification at the end of that program. Phlebotomy is the same way, except you're drawing blood from patients, and you begin in class by drawing your peers' blood. Your clinicals are at the hospital. There's also EKG. It's non-invasive. You're reading the electrocardiogram of your heart, like you're taking vital signs and watching cardiac caths. That's like you're sticking little stickers on your chest and you're reading them, watching them, making sure it's all good. Your clinicals would be at the hospital, and there's an exam and a certification at the end. Your senior year, you can take advanced nursing. You can get your CRSRNA from MNA, so that's like your state registered nursing assistant. You can learn advanced nursing skills related to acute care settings like sterile fields. You can tour and shadow jobs from special departments as the ER, cardiac, and labor and delivery. There's no certification for that. You could also take pharmacy. You assist the pharmacist. It's non-invasive. Your skills are compound and mixing medications and filling prescriptions. You can work at Baptist, Walgreens, or Apothecary, and there's also an exam and a certification with that as well. There's CCMA, and you must have completed phlebotomy and EKG with one additional certification that's preferred. You can't use advanced nursing. That's not how that works. So you can assist nurses and providers in a clinical setting. Your skills are giving vaccines, vital signs, and making appointments.
In this pathway, we teach you how to use this equipment, how to set up shots, how to film, how to write scripts. The group that's in here right now, they are in our second level, so they are they're in the dual credit. Right, so they're taking college level courses. And so they are getting college credit for being in here, but they are also, they're learning how to write a script that could potentially be like on Netflix or on Hulu or something like that. Right, so they are learning the process of how a script looks, what all goes into it, and then they're going to write that script, and then they're going to try, if depending on the script that we get, to film that at some point during this trimester. So that is that's the goal, right? As an intro class, which is what you would potentially come in as a freshman if you chose to take it, you would come in and we start out by using our digital cameras, doing some photography things. Because what are movies? What's film made up of? Constant photos, right? If you've ever heard of frames per second, that's what that is. So a movie, if I was recording right now and then played this back, then it would be a movie, right? But it would be made up of a bunch of photos, right? Moving images. So a regular, like Ty is recording right now, and his frames per second is about 30. So 30, every second he's taking 30 pictures, right? And then that ends up moving in there. So that's what we start out with the photography to try to get you familiar with how things should look in a photo. And then we move into our video and video editing part of that and putting that stuff together. We also work hand in hand with HCEC-TV, which is our district channel. We do football games, basketball games. Anybody here in band? Band concerts. I know we were out there in December for all of those things. We film everywhere. So all these guys, Chase is up in a different room. You may end up coming across him. So Ty and other folks, that's what they are doing, is that they are filming these tours and other things for the district channel. All right, so there's a YouTube channel that's always streaming something. You can find it on cable. There's always something going on. So if you work your way through the pathway, then you can become an intern, and you would spend your day over at the studio. And instead of coming to class, you are there working, or they send you out and about throughout the schools to film things. You edit those together, do little episodes and things like that. It's pretty neat.
We have 5 pathways, which are all kind of interconnected. So the first one is computer programming. So each pathway has 4 classes that you have to take. So computer programming, you take AP Computer Science Principles, which is like the basics of programming. We use Python to write programs that do all kinds of things, and we'll show you a couple examples later. Web development, cybersecurity, those are exactly what they sound like. Web development, you create web pages, but not just like Google Sites web pages. You get in, you use HTML and CSS, you use the code, and you get into the code and modify them that way. Cybersecurity, basically just you learn ins and outs of how to recognize security breaches and how to correct them, and most importantly, how to prevent them. And then finally, computational thinking. That's our upper level junior senior class. In that class, you get to choose whatever you want to focus on. So people focus on like more advanced programming, game design, 3D, graphic design, app creation, and I think there's another one that somebody's doing this year, but like I'm pretty much open to what you want to do. Okay, then we have web development, and if you notice, like some of the classes overlap. So there are quite a few classes that overlap with other pathways, and so it's very easy in this program to get multiple pathways and certifications. So the one that we add on this one is Internet Technologies, and it is more not just developing web pages, but like the history behind the web and copyright and why we do what we do. And digital literacy, which you guys are going to have at your home school. Network administration and network security. They are basically the same, so I'm just going to do this one. So the class, the like intro class to this one is computer hardware software maintenance, where you you take apart computers completely, you put them back together, you learn what all of the parts do, you get to build like your dream computer, on paper, unfortunately not in real life, but you get to design that, and that's the perfect class if you have no idea about computers, but you are intrigued by computers. That's the class to take, because that you can come in not knowing anything. Same with the AP Computer Science. And then network administration, that's required for both of the networking pathways. That is just studying how computers are interconnected, how they work together, and how to set up and maintain that. Okay, and then finally, information support and services. All of the classes that you've seen so far, but the fourth one for this pathway is the computer science co-op / internship. So we partner with a few places, one being the tech office here in Hardin County, where we send people over and they work in the tech office with the people over there fixing Chromebooks, stuff like that. Basically anything people need.
As you come here, your sophomore year is your first class. It's called Basic Automotive. And then your junior and senior year, you take maintenance and light repair, which is going to be like your light repairs on cars, all the basic stuff. Your basic automotive class is going to be how to change oil, how to check your oil, how to check your transmission fluid, how to change tires, and a lot of safety. When you very first come in here, the first 2 weeks of school is all safety training. So you sit in the classroom, about 95% of the time you learn safety. Pitt will bring you out here a few times to teach you little things, but until you pass your safety test and everybody in the class does, you cannot come in the shop. Safety is a huge part of it. And then as you come in here your junior and senior year, you're out here more often than you're in a classroom. But Pitt tries to do a really good job about making it 50% classroom, 50% in here, because as you are here, you are learning to get certified. It is a grade, just like your everyday class at school. So your senior year, you'll take an ASE test, which is an entry-level certification. You have to pass at least one main test to get in it. It's a 60-question test. It is fairly easy if you pay attention. Your 3 years are here. The more tests you pass, the higher your certification is. A really cool thing is if you pass that test, Swope here in E-Town will come and offer you a job. So everybody you see in the shop right now has all been offered jobs at Swope here in E-Town. What it is instead of coming to class every day, you'll go to Swope and work and they pay you. So I think the starting pay right now is like $16 or $17, which is fairly good for being a high school student. But by the time you're a senior, it'll probably be up to $20, $23 an hour as everything increases over time.
It's our walk-in fridge. We also have the walk-in freezer back there, if y'all want to move around so you can see it.
This is our blast chiller. This thing gets to negative degrees real fast. We use it to like freeze candy or anything like that. It's really nice. It's not a freeze dryer, but it's as close as we got. We got a coffee machine. There's coffee in there right now. Unfortunately, y'all can't have any. It's coffee. We got a microwave. Any good kitchen has a microwave. That's how you know it's a good kitchen. And then we got this lovely ice cream machine that has never been used with the manual still inside of it.
So back here we have all of our dry storage. In the middle we have all of our food and sauces. And then on this side we have all our utensils and serving stuff. This is our leftover cooler. It's where all of our leftovers go whenever we open stuff when we don't finish using it, or our leftover food that we don't finish eating.
Excuse me, sir.
This is our produce sink. You cannot wash your hands in it. You can only wash veggies. You can drain your pasta and you can get your water for cooking and stuff in here. This is our raw meat cooler.
This is our crest cooler. We use this for our catering. So we keep our food warm. It stays like, I'm pretty sure, it's 125 degrees, I'm pretty sure. We put pans in there, keeps them warm. We use this for our caterings. When you take culinary, once you get past your first year, you'll have to take 2 caterings
After school.
to get a grade.
There's 4 classes total. The first one you will take is Intro to Criminal Justice. That is where you'll learn all about courts, what happens inside the courts, who is in courts, and what kind of people come and go throughout the courts. Then you'll also learn about juvenile justice, which is you guys. Everyone under the age of 18 is a juvenile, whether you have committed a crime or not. There's two big things that juveniles do all the time. That's running away and truancy. Those are status offenses for you guys. Basically, they are illegal for you now, but the day you turn 18, they're no longer illegal. But if you were still in high school, the day you turn 18, truancy is still an exception. You cannot miss too much school even if you were 18. They can still arrest you. You just won't go to juvenile detention. You will go to actual jail. And so will your parents. Your parents will go to jail too because you've missed too much school. So just because you're 18, don't think you can skip out on school. Then you'll also learn about all your constitutional rights that you have as a person, not just as a juvenile, as a person. You'll learn all the basics to criminal justice and all the other classes.
Personally, my two favorite classes in this whole curriculum is corrections and law enforcement. I'm going to talk to you about corrections. It's one of the best classes you can probably take if you just want to know the insights of how prison works and how wardens and prisoners react to each other. One big thing that you learn here is if you go get into intake, you have tattoos, they'll count every single one and make sure they have it on file, because turns out you can get added onto your sentence 3 to 6 years probably. 3 to 6 months? Oh. Yeah. 3 to 6 months for having a new tattoo. It matters what size or if it's gang related.
If it's gang related, you can get up to a year added onto your sentence. If they find a tattoo, depending on your sentence. So if you get out for good behavior and they find a tattoo, you'll finish out your sentence and then get 3 months added to it, or 6. Say you have a gang-related tattoo. They will move you to a new prison, then they will make you finish out your sentence, then they'll add on that extra year to it.
Another huge thing in that class, your final is a Minecraft project. You make your own prison system. That's takes you 2 weeks. It's pretty chill. If you try your best, she'll give you a passing grade. You don't have to be super creative, but you just need to do your best on it.
The first thing you take is intro to construction. In intro to construction, you learn about tools and hand tools and power tools and stuff that you can use, like a hammer and like drills and table saws and sawzalls and circular saws. All these different tools that construction guys use, you guys will actually learn how to use them. All right? And after you learn how to use them, you'll build some things. You'll build like a step stool. You'll build a birdhouse. You'll build some shelves. You'll build a toolbox. Just different little projects you guys will actually build after you learn how to use these tools. And the second thing that you learn, a second class you take with me is called carpentry. All right, carpenters build houses and so forth. So inside our shop, you'll actually build a floor, you'll build walls, you'll build rafters, and you'll put windows and doors into these buildings that you build, and you learn how to do that. Once, like I said, all that you'll learn how to do in the second class. The third class you take with me is called electricity. All right, electricity, you learn how to wire everything that's inside your house that's electrical. Receptacles, light switches, lights, exhaust fans, smoke detectors, electrical panels, all these things that you guys use in your house every day, you can actually wire and work on. The guys sitting behind me, they have my class, so you can point to anything inside your house that's electrical, and these two guys can wire it up for you because they have that knowledge now. And the last class you take with me is HVAC and plumbing. You'll learn about your air conditioner and your heating system, and you'll learn about your hot water and cold water and sewage, which is your plumbing. All right, so whenever you get done with my program, you have a strong grasp on about anything that's going to be in your house. So even if you don't go in construction, even if you don't do it as a trade, every one of you is going to own a house one day, and you're going to need to know how to work on your own stuff. But if you do have this as a trade, then there's wonderful money to be made right now. As a matter of fact, there's lots of money to be made right now because there's such a short demand, such a high demand, and so many short amount of people that's going into construction that they're paying crazy money for people to work.